My name is Don Swanker. I'm chairman of the, you ready? All right, good evening, everybody. My name is Don Swanker. I'm going to go ahead and call the Jackson County Board of Supervisors meeting to order. It's about 4:30 p.m. To my right, we have Nin Flegel. To my left, we have Mike Steinis. We have Bjorn with IT. We have Lisa with the auditor's office. Luann in the back for the executive assistants. We have Brittany here with the press. And first up on our agenda is Jaden Shekel with a 3-minute limitation.
Good afternoon. We'll make sure we hit it. Good afternoon. First thing on the agenda is an entrance permit for Amanda Hunt on 233rd Avenue. It's in the Macoka Township, Section 4. Meets all the site distance requirements. And due to its location, it does not need a culvert since it is located at the high point. So pretty standard, straightforward. So we just recommend approval.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I would second.
A motion by Nin, second by Mike to approve the residential entrance permit on 233rd Avenue and Macoka Township, Section 4. Any other discussion?
Is this a field or a residential?
Be a residential. And that road does have a 40-mile-an-hour speed limit as well by ordinance, so.
Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Last is a utility permit for Macoka Valley. It's just for an overhead 3-phase to a property on South Gary Owen Road. It's just to provide electric for future bin sites, so it'll all be overhead. So straightforward with that as well. So we recommend approval of that.
I would move to approve.
I'll second that.
Got a motion by Mike, second by Nin to approve the overhead 3-phase utility permit from Macoka Valley Electric on South Gary Owen Road. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
And we did have a pre-construction meeting this morning for our Z34 overlay with the contractor and DOT, and work is anticipated to start beginning of April. Bridge approach work first, the concrete, so there'll be a road closure for that.
Okay.
And then asphalt to follow a couple weeks after, so right away in the spring, we'll be getting going.
And that was what road?
Z34 from Preston city limits going to the Damon Bridge.
Nice.
So just wanted to give you a quick update since we had that today.
Awesome. Thank you
Thanks,
very much.
Jaden.
Yep.
All right. Next up on the agenda is visitors and citizens. Public comments can, we reserve the right to limit to 3 minutes just because we are under a time crunch. We have a public hearing at 6 o'clock we have to get to, and I see a lot of people here, so. What's going on? What, anybody would like to address the board today? Do we have a spokesman?
Yeah, I don't know if it,
Stand up and introduce yourself.
Yeah.
Come up here, the mic is closer up here so people can hear in the YouTube land.
yeah, was close enough.
Sure.
Randy Rowan, my wife and I are here, we just got a letter a couple weeks ago, stating that, a developer wants to put a Bitcoin mining facility, basically 600 some feet away from our house. We did a lot of research on it. We were actually on vacation when the, zoning meeting was, but, we zoomed in and found out more information on at that too, but basically I guess our main concern is the noise. I realize that, the reason they want it there is because of the tremendous amount of power that it, these things take. So that's why they want this facility south of the substation that's basically, this 500 to 600 feet from our house. So, and our main concern is the noise, first and foremost, I guess. And I have a neighbor here too, Dale Stillmuckus, that's also done some investigation and stuff, and I'll let him talk about what he found too, but one of the things that I did find was this particular developer, he does have a mining facility. I think he's got, don't quote me, but I think he's got 5 of them in Iowa, or he wants 5 in Iowa. One of those facilities is up near Woodbury County. And they wanted to put another one in, and the nearest residence was 1,100 feet. And that got turned down. So basically, and I just, you know, I think we really need to pay attention to this because, you know, if we let them in, if we let them get in where they want to right now, that's just tip of the iceberg, you know, that we're gonna have one or two or several of those mining facilities at every substation in Jackson County. But I mean, that's what they're after, you know. But, and that's, if they want to do that, that's fine, as long as it's a good distance away from
Right.
from a residence, you know. We've lived there for 37 years. And we haven't had any problems with any neighbors, any noise, nothing. It's rural, it's ag, you know, other than ag noise.
Can you confirm that, Randy? We got it pulled up and I think I can see your residence and the power plant there, Macocata Valley, it says. And your residence is on the corner, correct?
Just resident, yeah.
Right there.
So I seen it very well, Mike.
He has his cursor on it.
What's that?
He has his cursor.
Up on the screen, yeah.
He has a cursor. That's your
Okay.
residence on the corner there,
Okay.
and Macocata Valley power plant is right there.
And where do they want to
And
put
they'll go
the,
right behind.
Right
To the south.
between him and the,
Right there, yeah.
So I guess
are they buying that land or renting it?
Mine.
purchasing it. So, yeah, so where the fans would be, to my understanding, would be, is that right, Lori, 600 to 800 feet? I think the
Yeah.
plans say 675
And
feet.
they'd be facing east, the X-tape would.
They'd be actually facing towards Dale's and Leon's cattle shed, but that may be fine or good, but I guess my concern is why at 675 feet, why do they want to put one here? And they were turned down from 1,100 feet, I guess is my concerns. You know, yeah, I think that's all I have, and Dale has
Okay.
some more about noise.
Okay, Dale?
thanks, Randy.
We went to the zoning meeting last week and Dale Stelmagus, Bellevue.
Thank you.
And anyway, I was open about it. So then me and my wife went on a tour. I talked to a supervisor from Hardin County and I talked to him for a while and he said, he goes, all of these are blown way out of proportion. And so anyway, I talked to him and I thought, well, maybe it's all right. And we went out to look at 3 of the units out there. And there was one that had, anyway, they were out in the country. And the newest one was built in 24 last year. And that was 8 megawatt. I think that's how they go by, MW megawatt. And that one was new, but it sounded like I mean, if you're 70 feet from it, definitely sounds like a freight train, nonstop. It just constantly made a roaring. And even there was one set of fans that weren't going, one whole section, there was 4 sections and one wasn't even running. And that still sounded like a freight train. And then when I stepped off 500, 600 feet, it was bearable, but it was still loud. And then I finally went down to 1,000 feet. And I really think, well, okay, that's that unit. And then there was 2 other units that were built. One was in St. Anthony and the other one was in
Were you in Grundy Center?
Guthrie Center.
Grundy Center.
And we went out to them and my gosh, it was just, they were a couple of years old and it just sounds like they're squealing and screeching. There's bearings going out of them, several bearings are going out of them. You know, the new one that was the one at the one at Union was just loud roar. You know, there it was fine, but it's just like a hog house. The bearings go out. It's high maintenance because there must be, I don't know, 100 motors. I don't know what there is. And there was like several motors going out. And I mean, I shouldn't say they were going out. There was bearings going out. That's the sound to me. It sounded like belts squeaking and just really annoying sounds. And I even went from that one there, I went 500 feet, and it was just like you were next to it, almost 600 feet. It sounded like you're right next to it. It was horrible when you're next to it. You couldn't even, I got a video of it. You can't even hardly even talk next to each other. You know, well, you can't talk at all. And then when I got 600 feet, you could talk, but it was just, it was, you would never want to live near. I mean, I'm thinking, I'm concerned. I think it should be 1,500 foot to 2,000 foot from a residence. Out in the cornfields, okay, I talked to this Huffman and he said, he goes, we have no complaints. But then I got to find out they were out in the middle of the country, out in the cornfields. There was nobody there. The windmills were all around it. The windmills were making sounds too. You couldn't first tell which one it was coming from, but it was coming from the you know,
The data mine.
yeah, the database. So, but it was just, it was, I was, you know, I,
Dale, what kind of, can you tell me approximately what size of facility this was?
this one here, they're talking was, they want to put up a 2.5 megawatt. The one out
I'm talking
there,
the size of the building. When you looked at it, can you tell me, is it a box car? Is that what?
it's kind of like a box car. I got a picture of it here.
We've seen them. I just
Yeah.
wanted to make sure there wasn't.
Yeah, they're like a
all
box
of them.
car. They're probably is 8 foot, probably like this
Yeah.
room. It's probably 8 by 8. Just guess it, 8 by 10, 12, something like that. And it has vents sticking out the side. The side where the fans are on, that was really loud. That was just roaring. A lot of louvers are gone on them because of high winds. It's just maintenance on those that are a couple of years old. The new ones, the vents are all there, but it isn't even summertime when there's such heat dispenses. You know, it's going to be worse in the summertime. I'm sure it will be. You know, it's just because it's winter time, and that's why the one section was shut off.
Okay.
So it was
I know when they came and talked to us before, when we were entertaining the idea of an ordinance, a lot of the ones that we're talking about coming here, we're talking about building a building. And I thought there was, the people that were selling land, they said that it was like a quarter mile away.
In some locations.
This was not the same location.
This is not the same.
no,
company.
yeah. There was 3 different units we were at. One of the units, the hoop building they have over, it was one of the earlier units. I guess it's built in 19. I think the way I understand, they got new units sitting there. They're going to rebuild it. But the hoop building was all burnt and it was just a mess there. It happened a year and a half ago, something like that. That it had burnt in the inside of the building and then it caved the building. You know, the building disappeared basically.
Was that in January, Dale, or was it that?
I think it happened a year ago in January. I
It
think
was
is when that
January
was.
of this year.
January
Okay.
7th.
Well,
It was
January.
Oh, this
January-
year?
Yes, sir.
Oh.
January 7th.
Oh,
this
okay,
year.
okay. So, but there was no residences around there at all, none of the 3 units. So that's a different scenario, you know, so.
Industrial setting.
Yeah, industrial, yeah.
We
So,
appreciate your information.
Thank you.
Anybody else like to address the board? I see there's a couple. Yes, ma'am.
Rhonda Rowan, I live with Randy at
Okay.
8728 387th Avenue. I was doing a little research and the life expectancy of these computers that are in these buildings are 1.3 years. They need to be replaced. This is electronic waste. Does Jackson County have anything how to dispose of electronic waste? How are they gonna dispose of electronic waste? Because it's electronic waste, they can't go to the landfill. And also, fire. That is a concern also. We live, Springbrook's about 6 miles, Preston's about 6 miles, give or take, either one of them. To the best of my knowledge, we spoke with the Preston Fire Department chief. They've not even talked to them or said anything to them regarding them coming here, if they even are capable of handling a fire, if it was to have a fire. It's all dry around there. If there's a fire, it will spread quick. There's no water sources. There's no hydrants. We live in the boondocks. There's no hydrants.
Coconut River would be the closest.
Okay.
About 3 miles away.
So, and I just would implore to you that before that you make any big decision on this, that you go and speak to the counties who have already had one of these and they're asking for a second one and they're denying them. Why are they denying them? You probably could get more information out of them than we can. But I would appreciate it before this happens, that you research this and look at it very closely. Everyone is all up in arms about all these windmills that are going around up here, or they don't want them. This is gonna be like that. Gonna be like the windmills. Nobody wants them. Nobody knows anything about this. So please research.
No, we'll do our
And,
research.
and we have, Ron, I'll tell you, we've known about this for 3 or 4 months, and we put a moratorium on it, like Don said, so we stopped it. And until we had enough information, and we've been researching, and I've talked to several, I think 5 different counties that I have to look back on my notes. But, so we are, I mean, we're not just gonna go out here and do this, no, we're gonna get all the information we can gather before we make it.
I appreciate that, Mike.
Can I just
Yes, Lori.
reiterate something? I did talk to Woodbury County zoning administrator yesterday, and he says the reason they denied the second one was proximity to residences. So they,
At 1,100 feet?
he didn't tell me the distance, but he said it was because of the distance.
Okay.
Yeah, we had that.
Yeah, so that is what he told me. That is the reason they denied them.
And the process right now for one of these to go in is they gotta get a Board of Adjustments and then zoning, correct? Or
Backwards.
Backwards, or
Yeah.
zoning and then,
Do you want me to stand up where you can hear me? Okay, so right now it's in the zoning commission's hands. The way our ordinance is written, for anything that doesn't have, is specifically listed in our ordinance for permitted use or for special exception use. First step is to go through the zoning commission for them to make the determination of the proper zoning district. So that is where we are right now.
okay,
And they tabled that decision that was on their plate on their last meeting, and we'll take it up again on the March 10th meeting.
okay.
And then we will see what direction we need to go after that decision's made. Well, it will come to you guys because it's zoning commission they'll make a recommendation to you guys for the zoning district.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you much. Anybody else? We appreciate everybody coming in and speaking your mind, giving us the information. We can look into this further and we'll take it into consideration when our comes before us and at the zoning meeting on the 10th. So thank you very much. We appreciate it. So, all right, we will move on. If nobody else has anything, to Laura Karstens, you on there?
I am.
All right, you're up, man.
Okay, thank you very much. The request before you is something we do every year. It's for an annual report for what's called the CLG, or Certified Local Government Program. This is a program that helps us with training and can also provide grants and other resources for us as we move forward as a Historic Preservation Commission. We have put together the report on what we were able to accomplish in 2024. And we thank the Board of Supervisors for your financial support and your support of the site assessment for the historic insane asylum. That allowed us to get many of our projects done in our work plan. We would respectfully request your approval of this 2024 annual report and ask that the board chair sign the required form. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
And this is required to keep your certification through the state, correct?
Yes, sir. That's correct.
I'll make a motion to approve the annual report and have the chair signature as needed.
I'll second that.
Got a motion by Mike, second by Nin, to approve the 2024 Certified Local Government Annual Report for the Historic Preservation Commission, and authorize chair to sign and submit it to the state. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Thank you very much. We appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thank you.
You betcha. Next up is Joe Benz with First Main Street Insurance. There you
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity. Am I coming through clear and okay?
Yeah. You have
Awesome.
support here, by the way.
Yeah. We got
Jennifer's
Jennifer in the
here.
back.
That's she's the real champion on this account, but between her and Lisa, and Janice from our team, they're the ones that do all the real work. So I show up and kind of do the overview meeting and answer any questions that you have. That's kind of my purpose for today. Lisa told me that I had 10 minutes max because I like to ramble on this stuff. So I'm going to try and be as efficient as possible.
So we'll ask Jennifer, what's the changes?
I have 0 minutes on the clock. The changes are,
You want to come over to the table so we can hear you?
go ahead, Joe, I got the year over year, but you go ahead.
Yeah. So essentially, I should ask, do you have I sent Lisa some information earlier.
Yeah.
Do you have that in front of you?
The alternate quotes options, or what are you talking about?
There's a big document that should be called, it's at the top, Jackson County year-over-year renewal comparison. If not, I'll share my screen really quick.
Over to you.
Can you all see this document? It's probably small print. It's essentially I've had clients of ours joke that this is the insurance spreadsheet from hell, but it does give all the information that you need. I'll keep it very high level, but can you see this document that I'm looking at here?
See it? Yes. Read it? No, but go on.
Okay. So essentially, in this left-hand column, this is the renewal that issued last year. So 3/1 of 24 is the left-hand column. This column on the right here would be the as-is renewal, meaning if we made no changes to deductible structure, this would be the setup for the county as of this renewal. This column on the right here is if we increase our property deductible and we increase our comp and collision deductibles, this is the column that would apply. The only notes that are really worthy of pointing out is the county has a 2% wind and hail deductible on the policy. We talked about this at length last year. ICAP heard from many of us agents, including Jennifer and myself, saying 2% of the total values of assets are so hard for members to insure for that there needs to be a better solution. So ICAP they have a max wind hail deductible that applies on the policy now, where if you have a significant tornado or hailstorm that comes through and impacts the county, the most out-of-pocket expense the county would bear for all assets in total is $250,000. That's obviously still a large number. It's very unlikely we would ever get to that limit. But in comparison, last year was closer to 570,000. So it is an enhancement that's offered on the policy. For decisions that the board that we wanted feedback on is taking on a $25,000 all other perils deductible, meaning all other perils that aren't wind and hail. So think fires, lightning strikes, sprinkler head bursts. Currently, you have $1,000 all other perils deductible. We've looked at increasing this each of the last few years, and it's never made sense fiscally to do that. The rate was so low that the savings that you would get from increasing that wasn't significant enough to justify it. This year, ICAP's had a better option for that. So it would be my recommendation that the board consider increasing the all other perils deductible to 25,000 from 1,000. In doing so, you save 12,000 in annual premium. The reality is the county hasn't had a lot of small property losses historically. And with the insurance market the way it is, we typically want to self-finance those anyways, as opposed to turning them into insurance. So it's my preference that the county save premium up front by taking on a higher deductible. If I go to the second page here, we talked last year about the fact that, hey, should we look at removing assets from the policy altogether? These small little properties should we just start taking them off? So we did a comparison here just to show you guys the impact. If we removed all properties on the property schedule that are 25,000 or less and kept the same deductible, our savings annually is $1,500. By increasing the property deductible, we're saving 12,000. So I think you should increase your deductible, leave those properties on the policy, and that way, if we have an event like a tornado that impacts a ton of our assets, we're getting coverage on all those different buildings as opposed to Jennifer and I coming back to you and saying, hey, sorry, all these sheds and these small buildings, we're not going to replace them because we removed them from the schedule altogether.
So a question on that. So let's say we have a tornado catastrophic event and a lot of these things are wiped out. You know, sometimes insurance says, well, each building is its own claim kind of thing, or are these all wrapped together?
If it's one.
Yes,
Go ahead, Joe.
it's 2% per building, and they base it off of the limit on the building. So let's say you have $100,000 pole barn that's on the schedule. Tornado impacts that building. The deductible is going to be 2,000 for that building, as long as in total all of our deductibles have reached that $25,000 all perils deductible. So to me, you guys increasing the deductible saves you premium, but leaving the assets on the schedule gives us a good chance of making sure that if a ton of buildings are impacted by a significant weather event, we still have some coverage that's going to apply to help the county rebuild the assets that they want to rebuild after that takes place.
Somehow I believe, we've been talking about this for 3-4 years or better about self-insured and where do we go and where do we start? And at some point with the rates that were in the last couple of years, not so much this year, I see, but the last couple of years that we were certainly thinking positively about being self-insured. And if you do the math here, if you save 12,000 and you had a 2,500, that's 15 already. So you're still only out $10,000 if something does get wiped. And I assume, I don't know what's gonna happen, but again, if we get wiped out across the county, I'm sure we're looking at a lot more assistance somewhere.
I would agree with that assessment, Mike. That's
We've been
correct.
very fortunate with a lot of our facilities. We have a lot of volunteer help and a lot of volunteers that help rebuild things and even county structures that secondary roads rebuild themselves. But again, there's a lot of minor facilities, whether it be a salt shed or whatever it might be. But again, I guess I agree with your logic behind that part of it.
You bet. Well, it's worth noting just very quickly. So if we take on the increased property deductible of 25,000 and the comp and collision on the vehicles up to 1,000 each, the year-over-year increase is 7.74%. That's compared to last year, we were closer to 30, to my recollection. And the reality is we've added significant assets this year to the property policy that weren't on there historically. So like Together We Build, the law enforcement center, those are both properties that are now on the policy. So we did just a quick calculation to see like what's the effective year-over-year increase if we were looking more at our historical assets and looking at what the rates are, what would it be? And we would actually be, if those buildings weren't on there and we're going off of the limits from 2024, you actually have an effective reduction year over year. Now, that's not the reality of the dollars, but I think it's just worth pointing out that the market seems to be correcting. And so we still want to continue to evaluate how we're insuring for the county, but we're in a much better position this year than we have been over the past few.
Somehow I feel also, them two facilities in particular, if they both go down, we're in trouble. The concrete structures, I think we
Exactly.
don't have to worry about that.
Agreed. One last thing to talk about if I can, because I know I'm near my time limit. I do always like to point this out just because it is an option for the county. ICAP offers excess liability options where you can purchase increased limits for liability events, and it's very inexpensive relatively to purchase excess liability. This basically increases your limit for any of the casualty events that could exist for the county. So the main ones are auto liability, law enforcement liability, general liability, and public officials liability. Right now, we have a $2 million excess to my recollection. I should confirm that. 3 million excess. So basically we have 5 million for any one event. I listed out, you can purchase additional limit, and it's again relatively inexpensive to do that. I'm not saying the county has to, but with all of our clients, we're just showing them what those options are because we are seeing higher um, verdicts, especially when municipalities are brought into suit. So it'd be worth considering. You could go up to the full, you'd have $15 million available for any one claim. And to do so, you would essentially pay the cost that we save by increasing our property deductible, but it would be as much as you can possibly purchase for liability coverage. So, not saying the county has to take action on it, but I think it's mine and Jennifer's obligation to always show you what options you have. And we are seeing verdicts that are coming in higher against municipalities. So just want you to be aware of where coverage can exist if you want to increase that.
So Jennifer, with that being said, I guess before we make that decision, we'd have to see the numbers, what the savings might be compared to, if you're gonna raise that part of it.
What Joe's saying is that to raise the excess liability
Right.
would offset that credit, then the deductible, but then your premium would be.
But we're only talking about, again, $10,000 difference.
12, yeah.
Well, I mean, if you
Yeah.
take a deductible and a premium, add it together,
Can you put that in your spreadsheet, Joe?
Yeah, I can certainly show what the options are. What we essentially need to do today is my assumption is we're going to continue membership with ICAP. So I think that's what I had talked to Lisa about, the fact that we need to kind of put that on consent to approve or take action on renewing with ICAP. And then it will renew with the current limit that we have in place. And as long as we notify them in a timely manner, if we want to increase that liability limit, we can certainly do that. But the most important thing for today's meeting is to basically continue membership and I think vote on increasing the property and auto physical damage deductibles. To me, that makes sense. And then if you guys want to have a further discussion or look at increasing the liability, we can certainly do that.
I agree with that.
Yeah, I agree, because again, this sheet is even hard to read, just.
Yeah, no, I get it, but I think we're making the positive steps we need to at this point to go ahead and to quote it move forward with the ICAP.
Do you want to quote at the full limit of liability when we bring that back around at a work
I
session?
can look at the numbers, but
Okay.
I'll make
Yeah,
a
we'll-
motion to approve staying with ICAP and doing the,
Renewing with the increased deductible.
25.
I would second.
We got a motion by Nan, second by Mike to approve renewal of the ICAP insurance for the county with the increased deductible to 25,000. Is that correct?
That's great.
All right, any other discussion? Then we will come back and you can present.
I'll bring in some of those pieces. We can do that in a work session or something.
Yep. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Thanks, Joe.
Awesome. Thank you for the opportunity to present and thank you for the business. We greatly appreciate the opportunity to serve the county. Thank you. Thank you.
You betcha. Thank you much, Jennifer.
Yep, we'll get that to you guys. Pick the date that works best, and I'll come over with those quotes. We can look at those and.
Lisa?
We might want to just set up a work session for that subject.
Just shoot me the invite of the work session date and, that'll work. Thank you.
So you're up.
Your receipts.
See you later. I need a motion to approve the minutes of the February 18th, 2025 board proceeding and the February 18th, 2025 work session minutes as written by Auditor Smith and authorize publication in the official newspapers.
So moved.
I'll second that.
Got a motion by Mike, second by Nan to approve the minutes of the February 18th, 2025 board proceedings and the February 18th, 2025 work session minutes as written by Auditor Smith and authorized publication in the official newspapers. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
I need a motion to approve and authorize the auditor's office to issue warrants in the publication of the claims listing in the amount of $379,581.98. So moved.
Second.
Got a motion by Nan, second by Mike to approve and authorize the auditor's office to issue warrants and the publication of the claims listing in the amount of $379,581.98. And just for the reference, two of those, there's $220,000 in dump boxes for secondary roads, and there's $60-some thousand in cutting that we're doing, clearing right away. So that's almost 300,000 of that claims listing, so.
And a note that we've been waiting for the dump boxes for over a year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got them. Yay. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
So there was a miscommunication between Shelley and I concerning the check for the fairgrounds insurance. So the check was originally written to ICAP, and it should have been written to the fairgrounds. So to correct that, today I'd like to ask for a motion to approve a handwritten warrant to the Jackson County Fair Association to correct the warrant written to ICAP for insurance.
Move to approve.
I'll second that.
Got a motion by Mike, second by Nin to approve a handwritten warrant for the Jackson County Fair Association to correct the ICAP warrant for insurance of $15,609. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Need a motion to accept and place on file the Veterans Affairs Commission meeting minutes for the January 8th, 2025 meeting. So moved.
Second.
Got a motion by Nin, second by Mike to accept and place on file the Veterans Affairs Commission meeting minutes for the January 8th, 2025 meeting. Any other discussion?
Just a note on that too, Don, that, it was reported to us here last week, but again, in the month of November, there was 419 veterans, in Jackson County received $776,736 in compensation. So to me, that's a nice number for our veterans. So most people don't get to hear that number if they don't listen to the board proceedings.
Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
I need a motion to approve a Class C retail alcohol license with outdoor service to Bellevue Horsemen's Club, Inc. at 25121 297th Avenue, Bellevue, effective March 1st, 2025 through November 1st, 2025. So moved.
Second.
Got a motion by Nin, second by Mike to approve a Class C retail alcohol license with outdoor service to Bellevue Horsemen's Club Incorporated at 25121 297th Avenue in Bellevue, effective 1 March 2025 through November 1st, 2025. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
I need a motion to approve a Class C retail alcohol license with outdoor service to Megan Franzen LLC, also known as Obies, at 3610 173rd Avenue, Macokota, effective March 1st, 2025 through February 28th, 2026.
I would move to approve.
Second.
Got a motion by Mike, second by Nin to approve the renewal of a Class C retail alcohol license and outdoor service to Megan Franzen LLC, also known as Obies at 3610 173rd Avenue in Macokota, effective March 1st, 2025 through February 28th, 2026. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
I need a motion to approve a Class B retail alcohol license to the Corny Beer Store LLC at 20,600 300th Street, Suite B, Lamont, effective April 19th, 2025 through April 18th, 2026.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion by Mike, second by Nan to approve the renewal of a Class B retail alcohol license to the Coney Beer Store LLC at 2600 300th Street, Suite B, Lamont, effective April 19th, 2025 through April 18th, 2026. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
That's all that I have for the board today.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Luann, you're up.
Thank you.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. I say that quick before I forget myself and say good morning, so. Okay, tonight, yet at 6 o'clock, there will be a public hearing on the proposed wind energy ordinance. Downstairs in the community room for any of you that want to attend. Tomorrow, Wednesday, February 26th at 6:30 is a Jackson County Municipal League or Mayoral League meeting in Preston for Mike. Thursday, the 27th at 8:45 a.m. is a Housing Trust Fund meeting in Dubuque or by Zoom for Nin. And the RPA meeting for that day has been canceled. At 5:30 on Thursday is a HACAP meeting for Mike, either in Hiawatha or by Zoom. And our next regular meeting will be Tuesday, March 4th at 9 a.m.
Thursday at 10 a.m. I have a director search meeting in ECI in Dubuque.
Okay. Yeah, talk to a candidate, right?
10.
Yes. Okay, the only other thing I have on my agenda today is discussion possible action on an appointment to the zoning commission to fill a vacancy. And we have a few different applicants. It'll be 3 years to fill the vacancy, so I'm looking for discussion possible action on that. If you want to make a decision on that today.
Is this, I saw there were some emails going around that some other people were either intending on applying or there was even an application turned today. Is that in this file or?
That application that we got today is in your binder, hooked onto the zoning information. I did have another gentleman stop in, say he was interested, but he was on his way out of town and he didn't have time to do the application today or to come to the meeting tonight.
Okay.
So I did send
Do
you.
we have anybody on Zoom? No more.
Lori, have you met in person with the 3 applicants?
I know of them. So the one that came in today, I know who he is. We don't know each other. I know Brian from meetings and Lori and I aren't really acquainted. But Lori's here, Brian's here.
You guys wanna come up and talk? Kind of introduce yourself and give us a little bit of information, what you're looking to do, what your interest, all that kind of stuff.
So Brian Venema from Sebula. My goals would be to protect the farm ground, natural resources and neighbors from upcoming projects.
Okay.
Try to do the right thing, do the right research.
Now, I'm gonna just ask this because I don't wanna say I'm direct, but you're not just, I know you've been very active with the windmill ordinance thing, but you'll show the same vim and vinegar or vigor towards other things, or is that?
That would be my hope.
Okay. Any questions for Brian?
Already kind of talked to him.
Okay.
No, yeah, I guess I was just concerned too. I mean, honestly, we have 3 really good applicants here. It's never our decision or to turn away anybody who wants to volunteer for one of our boards and commission that pays well, you know,
so
Yeah.
I do have a decent idea of what's going on there.
Yeah, I appreciate it, and I thank everyone for.
What do you do?
applying.
Just so people out there.
I'm an electricians and controls administrator at 3M in Cordova.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. If there's no other questions. So Lori? You need to
Good
wait 2 to 3
afternoon.
minutes.
No. Good afternoon.
Tell us about yourself.
Well, I want to join, or I applied for the position. I have an interest in all aspects of buildings and zoning and codes and you know, my intent is just to make sure that everything is done in a compliance. And just wanted to volunteer, get my foot in the door and be part of the community. I work at Straka Johnson Architects, and I have been there since 2003. And I'm an architectural and interior designer, and I work on all aspects of construction documents, construction administration, specifications, code compliance, that type of thing, ADA compliance. That's
Good. Any questions for Lauren?
No, again, we thank you, we appreciate you for wanting to volunteer and be a part of the community.
I know it's a bit of drive for both of you. We do appreciate it because we're just trying to let people get a face, put a face to the name and kind of get a little bit of information as we do this. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. And Austin, is he?
Lori, what'd you say? He could not be? You said you talked to him today?
I have not talked to him. I know who he is. He sent in his application today.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yes, and I invited him for tonight, but I haven't heard back from him, so. It's kind of short notice, because he sent his application in, so.
Yeah.
I mean, I know of him and I know his background and whatnot either. And again, I said, we have 3 very good applicants, so that makes it even a little tougher. I would like to talk to Austin a little bit and see if he has some type of agenda, but.
I don't know him at all, so I would like to talk to him if we could.
We do have 2 positions, 2 terms coming up this spring. Also, I have a feeling both members will be reapplying. But
Current members, you mean?
current
Yep.
members, yeah. Yeah. But that doesn't stop others from, making application either.
Exactly. Pleasure of the board.
As far as the zoning commission, have you you published it, when, was there a deadline or until we decide or what was it?
That was,
Right.
wasn't
I
it?
think it was January 10th, which I
Well,
did
we
not
might
have
pass that a
anybody
little
apply by
bit.
January
Yeah.
10th, so,
We can make a decision at any time,
yes.
but I don't, like I say, I don't know Austin at all, so.
I guess my question for you two, do we want to wait and talk to Austin? Table it till next meeting, or do we want to move forward since he just got it
I
in?
would say, if anything, we can just table it till next week. Offer him a chance to come in. If he does, great. If not, then we will make a decision.
Off of that? I'll make that motion.
I would second.
We got a motion by Nan, second by Mike to table the decision until next meeting. That would be the 4th.
Or,
And invite Austin to come in and introduce himself and make a decision then. Is that okay with everybody? You good? It's okay. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
I just want to thank you both again for showing interest.
Very much so. It is a tedious at times commission, so there can be a lot.
I don't know if we ever had the problem of deciding from somebody before.
Usually you're begging people
I
not to apply.
I am,
But,
yeah.
But times have changed.
Somebody grabbed the short straw.
Are you good? Are you done, Luann?
yes, I am.
All right. So next thing on the agenda is Becky. Is she still on the hallway? And that will be a closed session, so we will have to empty the room.
Well, Probably have to ask if it is, if you request it. I would assume we would.
No.
Oh, is this during the meeting, Becky, or is this,
He ran it together, but he did request closed session, so.
Oh,
You can recess if you want to.
Yeah, we have to recess.
Thanks, guys.
Can we adjourn?
Well, are we making a decision?
No, no, just evaluation, right?
We tabled the zoning till next week, right?
Yes.
So either way, if we close them, if we adjourn, we still have we can still do the closed session, correct?
You can recess, go
You're-
to close and then adjourn.
Yeah, we have to be in a meeting to go
Yeah.
into
Okay.
closed session. So,
There won't be any business after the closed session.
well, actually, I don't think we need to recess. We just need, after the request of the individual, we can make a motion to go into closed session per Iowa code, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Because that is in personnel matters, that is the person involved. That is their prerogative, so. 21.5, subchapter 1I. So
Should be on the agenda.
with that, this is where you're gonna have to leave the room.
Are we adjourning?
No,
Okay, we're going into recess?
we're
gonna
gonna,
make a
no,
motion to recess? Or we're
no,
gonna
we're
go
just
forward
gonna,
with
we're gonna
recess?
make a motion to go into closed session. You'll pause the recording. And then you'll do your digital thing. And when we come out of closed session, then you'll resume and we can close the meeting.
I would make a motion to go into closed session for employee evaluation.
Per request.
Per request.
I say, can we do that just together? I'll second that.
We got a motion by Mike, second by Nan to go into closed session according to the Iowa Code 21.5 subchapter 1I for employee evaluation per request. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Okay.
Motion carries. We are now. Okay, we are bringing us back out of closed session and we are back in open session. It is the 25th, about 5:37. And we are back in open session.
Seeing nothing else, I'll
Make a motion to adjourn, no further business.
No further business.
second that.
Got a motion by Mike, second by Nan to adjourn. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Thank you very much, everybody.